What the hell is Saw Sports or whatever that last call was talking about? What the hell is that?
They're from Free Love, man.
What is up, Sauce Nation? It is your boy Hector Flores coming at you with a video about the Houston Dynamo. And in this video, we're going to talk about some guys that I could see the Dynamo maybe should consider bringing into the team. These are guys that I think are kind of like a big fish in a small pond, or haven't really gotten many opportunities to play for that team, and could look at the Dynamo as a second, like a fresh new start for them, and could give them an opportunity, especially the younger players, to go out there, excel, and then maybe the opportunity for the Dynamo to sell these guys in the future for a larger sum of money that could help them so they can have a better transfer budget, which obviously is something that clearly this ownership group isn't going to provide for the Dynamo and for Tab Ramos. So I think it's very important to consider that factors. Now, when I was looking at who to go for, I kept it within a budget, and I didn't say like I had an allotment of money to spend. There is a consistent trend, at least from the Dynamo, of the highest amount of money they will ever go for a player. And when I look at Tomas Martinez and Kiki Struna, the maximum amount seems to be $2.5 million. And that is a lot of money, but obviously when you're trying to get big marquee players, that's not going to get them. But so these are some guys that are under that amount that I feel could automatically upgrade this team, or we can give them that second chance to go out there and show the world their worth, or maybe they'll become a legend within the Houston Dynamo. So once again, none of these guys are going to be big flashy names, just to give you guys a little disclaimer, but I think these guys could come in and definitely bring some value to the team and maybe become a big name player for the Dynamo, and become a fan favorite in some way, shape, or form. But before we get to that, man, if you guys want that extra flavor on the other teams of H-Town, whether that be the Houston Astros, the Houston Dynamo, the Houston Rockets, or other teams here in the H-Town area, please subscribe to Sauce Sports TV. Please like this video and comment down below if there's a player that you guys think that would be interesting to be brought into the Houston Dynamo. And please be realistic. Don't be saying Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi. Let's keep it realistic. But I will have some videos as well that will kind of pertain more to those kind of bigger signings a little bit down the road. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get going with this video. So starting at number 5, we have William Potker. He is a right winger. He's 26 years old. He is from Brazil and currently plays for Internacional in the Brazilian league. His current worth is $2.42 million. Like I said, man, we're going to stick with that $2.5 million budget. That's the most I've seen the Dynamo spend, so that's where I'm going with it. William Potker is a right winger, which honestly is a solution to the fact that there's a possibility that Albert Feliz will be leaving the Dynamo, and I think that this guy could be someone. He has experience. He's 26 years old, and honestly, he could be getting that opportunity to get back on the field again, because this season for Internacional, he has yet to have stepped on the field. And so, but with the career that he's had, it shows that he has still something to prove. With 137 appearances in his entire career, he scored 36 goals, 11 assists, had 21 yellow cards, and had 3 red cards. I think that this is someone that could really benefit from coming to the MLS. And then obviously there is the stigma of Brazilians. So a lot of people do think when someone's from Brazil, they have to be great at soccer. It's just the culture in Brazil. And I'm just going to give you a heads up, there is a few Brazilians on this list, so just be ready for that. But I think that this is a guy that we might not even necessarily have to go and give him $2.5 million. We might be able to get him less because of the fact that he has yet to have played this year. So I think that William Potker would be definitely someone to look into for the Houston Dynamo. Alright, so at number 4, I'm going to try as hard as I can to not butcher these names. So for the people that are Romanian, just bear with me here. And this guy is Doren Reu. He is a right winger. He's 24 years old. He's from Romania, and he currently plays for FC Astanța. He is currently worth at $2.42 million. So once again, a right winger. He's a little bit on the younger side compared to the last guy that I mentioned, and this could be one of those guys that could come into this league, tear it up. He's still very young and could be somebody that we could eventually sell, or we, once again, like I said, with similar to the guy at number 5, could be somebody that could eventually become a household name for the team. In his total career, he's had a total of 249 appearances, has scored 53 goals, 39 assists, and 14 yellow cards. This season alone, he's had a total of 17 appearances, scored a goal, and has 4 assists. So he's maybe not as active on the field as he was. I mean, you know, stats obviously is not the whole story. You know, things that he does on the field, he probably still provides with key passes and is still a crucial part on the wing. But he does have a lot of games played. But maybe, you know, he's looking for a new challenge. Maybe he wants to go somewhere. And with $2.42 million, that's not really that high for the Houston Dynamo. They can go in and get him. And like I said, man, he's a right winger. We know what's going on with Albert Feliz. There's a possibility that he will be leaving. So this is probably a good option to bring him in. He's not that expensive. I mean, we're still talking about millions, which is crazy to say that that's not expensive, but you know, he's worth $2.42 million. And you know, we might have to go a little bit over just because he is 24 years old as far as trying to negotiate with the team. But I think that this could be a really good idea to bring in place for Albert Feliz. All right, so at number 3, I have Lucas Fernandez, an attacking midfielder. He is 22 years old. He is from Brazil and currently plays for Portimonense in the Portuguese league. He's currently valued at $2.42 million. Now, this one I definitely feel for sure will be someone that will be going a little bit over because he is 22 years old. But maybe this is not necessarily a transfer option. Maybe we try to get a loan for him. Now, for those of you who don't know what loans are, loans is very common in soccer, and what you pretty much do is a guy that's not necessarily getting as many game times or just young, which isn't the case for this guy, but you bring him into the MLS, give him some time to get some time with the first team, get him more playing time, send him back to the team, so that way it's another way to develop guys without having you to develop them. You just usually send them to a team that's maybe their players, you know, good enough to be in their starting 11 or at least coming off the bench, and you know, it's good business for them because, you know, obviously they still have the player under their system, but currently playing for another team where he's getting his playing time. But Lucas Fernandez is not necessarily in that problem, with his whole career so far having 85 appearances, 4 goals, 3 assists, 14 yellow cards, and a red card. This season, he's actually had a total of 20 appearances, has scored a goal, has 1 yellow card, and 1 red card. Like I said, the stats don't probably tell you the whole thing, but the fact is he is playing regularly with the team. So this would probably not be a loan idea, but definitely for sure would be someone that we could probably talk to bring him over. And we might have to go a little bit over $2.42 million, but I think this would be one of those well worth it decisions, especially as young as he is. And this is kind of one of those guys that we send him, you know, bring him to the MLS. He does well, and next thing you know, we sell him back to Europe, maybe to a bigger team than Portimonense, and you know, next thing you know, we get a lot of money off of it, which would probably be a very smart move for the Houston Dynamo. All right, so at number 2, I have Caio. He is a defensive midfielder. He is 24 years old. He is Brazilian and currently plays at Krasnodar. He's currently valued at $2.42 million. In his career, he's had a total of 53 appearances and 11 yellow cards. This guy's a defensive midfielder, obviously, so he's more on the defensive side. And the fact that in his career he's only had 11 yellow cards is actually pretty decent, so he doesn't get disciplined very frequently, so that's a good thing. And in this season, he's had a total of 11 appearances and 3 yellow cards. Now, this is kind of a little bit of a conflicting one because obviously currently we have Matias Vera, who to me is very good, and I do like him. But obviously, with the midfield being such a big issue to me, at this point we got to go ahead and invest on some midfielders, and I think Caio could definitely be a good addition to the team and kind of make some competition going. I think that that's another issue with the Dynamo. There's not a really, in my opinion, a sense of competition. Like, there's the guys that are in the starting 11 know for sure they're in the starting 11, so there's not that feeling that, like, shoot, if I have a bad game I'm gonna lose my spot. And I think Caio can definitely come in, especially as young as he is, coming from a very aggressive league that he's in when he playing in Russia, can definitely come in and really step up the competition as far as in that midfield group, and definitely provide some support defensively as well. So that's one thing that I do like about this idea. Once again, it kind of goes back to what I said with these younger players, where they can play with us, they get more notoriety, get some more hype in them, and eventually we just send them to Europe where we get more money from them, which could honestly be the route that the Dynamo might have to go to in order for them to give Tab Ramos the true financial backing that he deserves. And at number 1, we have Anto Gurgic, center midfielder, 23 years old, from Switzerland, currently plays at FC Sion, and he is currently worth at 2.48 million. In his career, he has a total of 142 appearances, 16 goals, 19 assists, and 14 yellow cards. In 2019-20 season, he has a total of 25 appearances, 2 goals, 7 assists, and 2 yellow cards. I think this guy is what we've needed in the midfield for a long time. I don't think there's any argument with it. I hate saying this, but Boniek Garcia is just a little bit too old for me and could be a liability, especially in the midfield. Even though I understand that he's a captain and I love Boniek, I do want to see him more coming off the bench than really playing in the starting 11. But obviously, that's my opinion. And then I just think that with Tomas Martinez, if he doesn't step up anytime soon, I think that there's going to be a time where the Dynamo are just going to have to really look deeply and realize that we're going to have to cut their losses with Tomas Martinez. But I think Anto Gurgic could be definitely that upgrade from Tomas Martinez, and I think this is a guy that you definitely might have to go a little bit over your budget, your set amount that you usually spend on players through transfer. But I think this guy is well worth it. Plus, he's 23 years old, and I think that he's only going to get better. And obviously, kind of going back to this whole thing, obviously, if we keep these guys, that's what I would prefer. But let's be realistic. This is the MLS. This isn't the end-all, be-all for a lot of these guys. A lot of them want to go into those big clubs in Europe, want to compete for Champions League and all those things. So obviously, for them, this would not be their final destination, especially as a lot of these guys are younger that I've listed in here. But obviously, the guys that are maybe 25 plus, this could be like the place where they can go ahead and finish their careers at. But for the younger guys, I think for sure we got to at least like get something from them, give them the careers that these guys want, and get those big teams in Europe to go ahead and break the bank for these guys. But I do think Anto would be an amazing signing. I think he would be really good. I think it's not a name that would be flashy to everybody. Obviously, I don't think any of these names would be. But I think if people watch him play, they start seeing his highlights, start seeing what he's doing, you're going to be like, dang, I need to come watch this kid play, especially when you're talking about people that are the soccer snobs, the Euro snobs when it comes to it. So that would be a really interesting thing to see, like, hey, there's this highlight reel here in Houston. Let's go watch him. And I think that this would be a great addition to the Houston Dynamo and could definitely boost up the intention from this team. Well, so here in Sauce Sports, we don't always give you guys just 5 things. And there's no 5 takeaways, there's no 5 key factors. And obviously, when we do these top 5 videos, we always have to give you guys a bonus. And for me, alright, I'm just going to tell y'all right now, this guy does not fit any of our needs. He's not a midfielder. Technically, he's kind of a winger, but not really. And obviously, he's not a goalkeeper. But I just think that for some reason, this would be something that everybody would go crazy about, just let alone because of his name. This guy is not a big name player, but the name is just like that, like eye-catching, that you would kind of want to come to a game, and you might buy his jersey because of his name alone. And my person that I'm going to talk about is Yago Pikachu. That is right. The guy's name is Yago Pikachu. He is a right back. He's 27 years old. He's from Brazil. He currently plays in Vasco da Gama in Brazil. Currently valued at 2.42 million. His career, he's had a total of 208 appearances, has scored 42 goals, 24 assists, has 43 yellow cards and 3 red cards. This season alone, he's only played in 2 games and has 1 yellow card. this is a guy that definitely wants to go out there and play somewhere. This guy could be very cheap as well. I don't think he will be actually valued at 2.42, especially with the lack of games that he's played. So this would be a guy that the Dynamo can go and get him on the cheap, which is going to sound ridiculous because of the fact that he is a right back. But currently with Jose Bisma being hurt, and I know that Zarek Valentin has looked really good stepping up in that right back position, but we do need a backup, and maybe Yago Pikachu as well going in to bring that competition factor, could come in and provide some competition, and as well as bringing back some depth. Maybe outplays Valentin and then takes over this as a starting right back, and Valentin becomes back as an option for either left back or right back position. So I do think that this name, even though it's very hysterical, does provide some benefits to the Dynamo for what he can do. And but like, just tell me in the comments, like, if you guys saw that the Houston Dynamo had a guy named Yago Pikachu, you wouldn't go and at least buy the jersey. I'm not even talking about going to the games. You guys might, if he plays well, maybe you guys want to watch him. But can you just imagine, just, you know, the all the things that comes with it, with having a guy named Pikachu on the team? I'm just throwing that out there. You know, I think there's gonna be, the jersey sales are gonna be crazy. I think we're gonna have people like with signs of like a legitimately Pikachu from Pokemon. Like, I just think that this name alone, I know this is the dumbest way to get people to come to games, but I think that this would get people to come to games, ironically enough. But this is obviously just a bonus take. This isn't gonna be one that I'm serious about, but he doesn't look that bad though. But the name is just amazing. I think that honestly, I would buy the jersey. I would go and buy me a Pikachu jersey. If the Dynamo signed Yago Pikachu, I'd be the first one in line to go and get me a Yago Pikachu Houston Dynamo jersey. I might just go ahead and make a Yago Pikachu jersey just for the sake of it, you know? That's how much I love this name. But yeah, so that's my bonus for y'all. You guys can go ahead and tell me in the comments that I'm a fucking idiot, but that's fine. But yeah, there you go. So that is the video. That is obviously 6, but 5 guys that I think the Dynamo should look at that are under the maximum amount that they have ever spent on a international player. I think any of these guys could come in and provide some competition, as well as maybe instantly upgrade a position of need. Okay, maybe not Yago Pikachu, but yeah, I think that these guys, these aren't flashy names, so I'm pretty sure if you're in the comment section saying who the fuck are these guys, even though I did say in the beginning that these guys aren't big name signings. This isn't, I'm sure the Dynamo would try to hype these guys up, but I think that these aren't things to like, you know, like, holy crap, we got this guy. But I do think that, you know, maybe bringing in some Brazilian talent would definitely get some intrigue from the Brazilian fan base that we have here in Houston. And maybe even getting some European young talent could also get some attention, as well as getting Anto, who I would be very adamant to be trying to bring into the team. But I think that these guys do fit our needs that we have currently on the Dynamo, but it's not something that the Dynamo, it's kind of fits with the MO of the Houston Dynamo, that they don't go out there and get those big name players, you know, from Europe or from Mexico or anywhere. They go in and get these kind of under the radar, very cheap players that people will look at them at cheap, but I think that this would kind of fit to more towards what they were doing. Now, I will be making videos on big Euro stars that, you know, are within reason to go for. And I will also be making a video, because if you guys remember in the live stream, I did say the Dynamo should definitely be looking at getting a Mexican player, actually one that could be a big name, or at least, you know, that's either already established as a big name or has the potential to eventually become that big name player. But those will be a little bit further down the road. But if you guys really like this video, go ahead and like it. Go ahead and comment, man. Tell me how you guys feel about these names. Tell me how much you would rock the hell out of a Yago Pikachu jersey. Don't be lying to me, man. Y'all know y'all would rock that jersey. But yeah, just go ahead in the comment section. Make sure you guys, once again, subscribe to Sauce Sports TV so you guys get that extra flavor. You know, there's not much. We do more than just talk about the Texans. Here's the channel, and if you guys have ideas for videos that you guys want to see here in the channel, videos on the Astros, videos on the Rockets, videos on the Dynamo, you know, let us know. You can either you know, send it to us through the comment section, or if you guys want it to be a little bit personal, go ahead and email saucesports@gmail.com, so you guys can let us know if you have an interesting idea, because you guys are the freshest ingredients. We are in Sauce Sports if it wasn't for you guys, so make sure you guys go ahead and give us your input as well. So with all that being said, man, chuck it up a deuce. Y'all stay saucy.
Perfect.